Hi, friends. Hello, the world. Welcome back to the episode of Transitioning Humanitarians Tools, the podcast that gives you all the tools that you need to transition successfully. And here is another topic that keeps coming up in my coaching, and that topic is I just get what I can get, right? I just get what I can get. In other words, I can't really go for exactly what I want. I don't really know, or I'm afraid to go for exactly what I want. Therefore, let me just go get the thing that is available, the thing that I can get to, the thing that I feel like it's a safe place to go to. This is the topic that I want to talk about. And I want to talk about some of the ways that it can be useful, and it has been useful probably in so many of our previous careers. But when we hit a certain age and certain lifestyle and certain ways of living, certain ways of doing things or wanting to do things, then this type of mindset may not really be helpful. And I want to show you how that could be the case and what to do first to make the difference, right? To shift that mindset. So when I coach my clients, this is what they typically tell me, right? So examples that I get from people is that I have always gone to the next thing. I always applied for the next thing. What was available, I just got it. I never really sat down and thought to myself, what is it that I really want to? How do I want to do that? And even if I did do that, I really felt like it wasn't available to me. Um, for instance, some of my colleagues or humanitarian clients tell me that I wanted to go for this particular position in headquarters, or I wanted to go for this particular position in this region, but because I didn't have the experience in the region, or because I didn't really have the connections, or I wasn't good at networking in this place, therefore I never got the things I want to. Therefore, whatever was available, whatever was, um, excuse me, possible at the time, I just got it. And what they often then tell me that they just kept ending up in non-family legislations a lot of the times, which they didn't want to, but they felt like that's the only thing I can get. Or they felt like they got the decisions that they feel, excuse me, they feel they have outgrown, but they still continue going for that thing because again of the mindset that I can only get what I just get what I can get, and I can't really go for anything further, anything better, because it just doesn't work that way, right? So this is the mindset that I coach people on. And I want you to think about the analogy to this and in the context of asking for donors' money. Let's say that this was our mindset, that let's just get what we can get. And then we just went to the donor and the donor asked, well, how much money do you want? For what purposes, what outcomes, and all of this. And we just said, oh, well, I don't really know, actually. I just get what I can get. Let me just get whatever you can give me, and then I will just think of something and make it up, right? And we would obviously never do that when it comes to donors' money. We would never do that, maybe even with the potential employers or employers in general. But when it comes to our own deep desires, our own goals of what we really want, we tend to treat ourselves in this way, right? We tend to treat ourselves in the way of, well, don't get your hopes up. Don't even think about that. Don't even try to go for that. It's not possible. You can't really do that. You can't really get it. And then we are the ones who oftentimes then suppress all of those desires and just keep feeling like we need to be flexible. We need to be adjusting to whatever situations. Times are hard, budgets are being cut, and then we'll always find all of these reasons why we can't go for what we want. Now, as I said in the beginning, that there was a time period where probably it served us well, right? I can imagine, I can think of many occasions where this was helpful for my own career as a humanitarian. and you would just grab the next opportunity and then go for it. But at some point when we have achieved the mid-level career or senior level careers, then we start understanding not only what is it that we actually want, but also where we really want to make a difference, where we really want to make an impact, and how we want to spend our energy. What is our strength? Which are the ways that we want to spend our energy? What are the ways that we could actually be very useful for the organization, right? So we start understanding and knowing so much more. Yet, because of this my particular mindset of I just get what I can get, then we don't really like committedly pursue what we want to, right? We don't really pursue in the way that we could do everything within our control to get it. We don't really do that because we just keep stopping ourselves. We just keep um, putting the brakes and therefore just hoping for the next best thing. And what is the biggest problem that I find with this mindset is that not only that we don't value our expertise, we don't value what we could bring to the table that would be so much more useful to the organization, to ourselves, to our growth. Not only that we don't do that and we just ignore or we just suppress it, but we also don't really trust ourselves to commit to pursuing what we exactly want, right? We don't really trust ourselves that we could actually be good at it. We could actually get to what exactly the thing we want to. We don't really pursue it because we don't really believe that we can get it, right? So you can see that the mindset is so powerful in the way that one thing that keeps stopping us from going fully for what we want exactly, and therefore we just end up going to adjusting to the next best thing. Now, here is an alternative way of having the mindset that we could have. And that's really what I invite and advocate for you to think about, apply it, use it, that we all have the availability or we have um, a mental intelligence, strengths, and capacity, everything to be in the mindset of I'm going exactly for what I want to, and here is how I can get it. I'm deciding to go for this thing now, and I don't want to go for anything less because of the experience, that expertise that I have, but also because of my desires and because of how I know that my capacity can be or competence can be used in this way the best. And that's why this is what I'm pursuing. This mindset is available to all of us, yet we're not really pursuing it because of our own prejudices about what is possible for us and what's not possible for us. And here is the crazy part is that I have done this at some point in my career. I have realized that I actually don't really want to go for these things, but I only want to go for these things, right? Or even when I left the humanitarian work and I wanted to work with humanitarians, I had a lot of drama about, well, but I can't really do this and I can't really do that. And then at some point, I had amazing coaches who told me that as long as you keep this mindset of I just get what I can get mindset, you will never get to what you want to because you're just giving up in advance on what you want to, right? That's really it. Is the assumption behind is that we can't somehow get to what we want to. We're not deserving to get to what we want to. And therefore, let me just be grateful for what I can get. This is what we're really saying to ourselves. And this is the way that I think of it is like as if I'm treating myself this as a like second cast or like there is this treatment of well for you it's okay to have this but for these people will get only this exquisite thing but for you you can only count for this type of the way that I think of it when I think of this mindset this is how we're treating ourselves is like you shouldn't be getting your hopes up because this is not meant for you but for other people or for these people, yes, maybe, but for you, it's not, right? So this is how, like, it feels almost like discriminatory, as if like I'm discriminating myself. And that's I hate even when others discriminate me, obviously, but when I do that to myself, I get furious, right? So therefore, I was thinking about how can we then shift from I just get what I can get to no, I'm going exactly for this outcome. I'm going for this position. I'm going for this way of making income. And here is how I'm going to do this. How are we going to do that, right? So the first thing that we need to really recognize is that this is available to us. So we have the mindset that's available currently that we're so used to, which is I just get what I can get. And then there is another mindset that some people around us may even have, which is that no, I'm only going for this exact thing because I want to value what I have. I want to value my energy and my time. At the same time, I want to be paid well. And that's why I'm only going for this. And here is how I'm going to do that. Excuse me. So therefore, understanding or recognizing and or being aware that we have both of these mindsets available, and then which one do we choose depends on us. And then here's the thing is that as soon as you start recognizing, oh, there is another mindset like this, and here's the mindset that I'm so used to, but if I go for this mindset that I really want to, then a lot of shitty feelings or a lot of like constraining thoughts come up, which is very normal. Things like, well, who do you think you are? Are you kidding yourself? You should just be grateful with this. There was someone who's coming from this background, or someone who didn't go to Harvard, or whatever, right? Or someone who comes from Kyrgyzstan, or who is only this or whatever it is, you can see that as soon as you start deciding to go for the mindset of I'm going exactly for this, your own, like as if your own inner enemy comes up, your own inner critic comes up, and it starts trying to pull you back, pull you to the place that you know safe. And that's so crazy thing is that when I used to hear other people say that you are your own worst enemies, and sometimes it's I swear this is so true, and I have experienced this so many times where I had my own voices of objections of basically saying that you can't really do that, you don't really have that prerogative, or you don't really have that luxury, you don't really have that pleasure luxury in a privilege. You don't really have that privilege to just decide to go for what you want to, because up to now your experience shows that you could only get what you could get at the time, right? And when I start seeing all of my own objections, all of my own reasons for why I believe that I couldn't go for what I wanted, then I start understanding why I never really went for what I really wanted, right? Because all along I had the impression, or I had internalized the societal norms somehow that I can only go for this. I should be always grateful to be doing this. I'm already at a great place. Why should I be going for something bigger? Right? So all of this like discriminatory but also patriarchal norms of society that ingrained in me that says that as a woman, as a someone from Kyrgyzstan, or as someone this, someone that, I can only count from these limitations. As soon as I start uncovering them, then I start realizing, okay, it's time for me to release all of those and decide, why am I choosing to go for I just get what I can get, when I have the option of deciding to go for exactly what I want, and how am I going to go to get the thing that I really want? What are the ways I can get it, and how are the ways I can get it? And even if I don't believe that it's possible, what are the like the first steps I can do to get to what I want to, right? And oftentimes my brain is like, well, I don't think it will be ever working. I don't think da 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 and all of this stuff. But then what my brain is really trying to do is it's being protective, because I don't really have that mindset yet that says I always go for exactly the thing that I want to, right? I'm deciding this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to do it, and I'm going to go and make it happen, or I'm gonna go and pursue this, whatever the way that you think about. This is my decision. As soon as you get to that mindset, you start feeling uncomfortable. I used to feel a lot uncomfortable when I thought, okay, I'm gonna promote myself to this level of, let's say, P4, P5 level. I'm going to make this type of impact. I'm going to work only with these people, and this is how I only work and earn money. This is how I do my impact, right? This is how I'm deciding. As soon as I do that, I feel like, oh, can I really do that? Is it really possible? Or am I just fooling myself, right? So all of these thoughts come up. And then as soon as you start getting used to achieving one thing, the next thing, you start realizing, wait a minute, I actually can decide to go for only this thing. And I also know how to make that happen. I will also know how to pursue that goal. So then you start feeling comfortable and feeling more powerful about, excuse me, no longer compromising, no longer sacrificing, but rather sacrificing your dreams, but rather deciding this is what I'm going to go for and this is how I'm going to do. And here are the ways. And then you feel so much more empowered. You feel so much more free to be going for what you want to. And then, as if like releasing all the societal norms away from you, as if like chain is broken, at least the way that I experience it. And therefore, just feeling like, okay, I can go for whatever I want, make the whichever the impact I want, living my life in whichever the way, and I'm capable of making all of these things work because I know how to do this. I know how to learn. I know how to get better at things. I know how to connect to other people. I know how to seek help, and I know how to get to my dreams because that's the example I want to be for my loved ones. That's the example I want to have for myself, and that's why I decide how I do this. And that's the mindset I would love for you to acquire so that you can make big transitionings in the way you want to and living your life in the way you. If you need help with this, absolutely come coach with me. I would love to do that. That's something that I have practiced for so long and it has become like my second nature now. And I promise it's possible for you too. So let's get to work on making that your mindset as well. Have a beautiful weekend. I'll speak to you very soon.